Right. Today we're gonna work done. Okay, so doing something that I've never is I'm gonna try to use audio noise gate. Noticed in a lot of my streams for the past. Okay, I don't know if it's working right. You guys hear me? And if you can, am I cutting in and out? Talk and listen. Alright, so I'm gonna be. You guys let me know if it sounds weird. Going. Keep. Okay, screw it. Let's just. Alright. I'm just gonna record how I usually do with. It's gonna be a little bit of noise in the background if that's cool with everybody. As usual. Um, okay, let me pause the playback. Alright, let me share this on Twitter and then we'll get started. So basically what I'm gonna be doing is animating the character that you see, the blue man that you see right here. Gonna be animating him today, and that's gonna be the first part of this scene, which is actually Zeke's character's first scene in the episode. Um, just be aware if you're gonna watch these live streams, you're gonna get some. These are pretty much spoiler free, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you want to go into the new episode knowing absolutely nothing at all, then maybe maybe be cautious. But I try to keep everything vague. I don't want to tell everyone like this is exactly what happens this scene while they're watching live streams because I don't want to ruin it when it's done. Okay. See, I'm gonna try to live stream a lot more, just because I feel like if I'm doing that, then then I'll stay. If I tell myself, at least maybe an hour or two a day live stream, then that means that I'm kind of guaranteeing that I'm going to, progress in Diver. Because sometimes, when I'm just kind of working on my own, I'll kind of get held up in another project or work, actual work that I'll just get tired after and be like, yeah, we'll work on some Diver tomorrow or something, and then I just keep pushing it back, and then so if I tell myself like, oh, let's live stream every day or a couple times a week, then at least that gives me somewhat of a schedule to put me in front of Diver for a couple hours. And working in front of people does also have that added pressure of staying productive. Because if I tell myself like, oh yeah, do Diver like an hour or two a day, then I might just work on it for 20 minutes and be like, oh man, I'm tired, and then just move on something else, or just be like, we'll pick it up tomorrow or something like that because I had a long day or something. But being in front of people, even if I'm tired, I have to stay productive. So you guys are gonna help me stay productive. 2 days in a row, yeah, I know exactly. I'm gonna try to keep to my word for once in terms of live streams because it rarely happens. I'm always like, I'm gonna do live streams a lot, and then I end up disappearing for because I mean it's not to be honest, doing these isn't like it's not my natural setting. I do enjoy kind of working on my own, but I do also enjoy interacting with you guys, showing you guys kind of what I'm doing, and having it kind of out there. So I do enjoy that part of it. But I'm not I'm not like a streamer. I don't have that. I'm not that entertaining. So it's not my natural setting to want to live stream too often. But I do it because I think it's a cool thing to maybe for maybe the people who watch the series and want to see how it's done, and I enjoy showing people how like my process, if you could say I have a process, which I don't know if I do. Oh God, no! I don't know if I'm gonna be on Twitch. It's too much pressure, and I don't know if people would want to watch a Twitch stream where you don't see the person, because really have I don't have a camera that I could connect. I mean, I do have a camera, but I don't have the I forget what it's called. There's like a thing that helps you connect your camera to the computer, and I don't have one, so I don't know if I would use it even if I did, just because it's like like what's the point? It's like just to have my head in the corner, like a little box, picture of my head in the corner. It's while I'm working. So alright. I gotta send out this and then I'll start. Man, this stream is slowing everything down. Whoops. It's just okay. Okay. There's a small 3D modeling niche on. Yeah, I figured. I mean, I'm guessing it's not just, people playing video games and stuff. How's life? It's, in terms of these projects, it's really slow. Life in general is, you know, it's what it is. What it is. that's that's such a non-answer, but okay. Okay, what was I doing yesterday? Right. So the scene is that this character's name is Margot is going to take this off his head. And he's going to kind of complain about the fact that it's not working. So yesterday, all I really did, because I was kind of on a rant yesterday, so I didn't really get like anything actually done. All I really did was get his hand in position here. So today, we'll actually take it off his head. So first things first, I'm going to, it's so funny that, I don't know how many people were here when I actually modeled this, but this is, I just remembered that this is based on a stereo that I have in my house. It was, and I just looked at it, I'm like, oh, I forgot that I actually use that stereo for this. That's funny. Okay, but yeah. So first things first, I'm going to have, for those of you who don't know, when a character in 3D animation picks up an object, you basically have to parent the object, or parent is basically like attaching. You basically have to parent the object like at the exact frame that the character is about to pick it up. For people who don't know, that's how that works. And so anytime you see someone picking it up, that's basically what's going on. So right now, obviously, this helmet thing is not attached to his head. It's not attached to his hand. I don't think it's attached to anything, actually. It should be attached to his head. Actually, I need to do that first. See. Okay. So first things first, I'm gonna make it a child of. Oh wait, I don't think. Right. Okay, wait a second. So this is really zoomed in, so I don't think you guys can see the whole. Right. This is super zoomed in. Do I need to show it? I mean, it's not a tutorial, so I don't. I don't really need to show everything I'm doing. Because I don't. Because zooming this out is gonna be. It's gonna be a pain. Okay. I'll just explain it because I don't feel like I don't feel like zooming all the way out. So basically, I'm gonna parent this to the head first, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, and this is what has to be done anytime you're kind of exchanging parents. It's called parents. In at least in the Blender world, you basically have to, at the exact frame that you want to change, hands or something. So in this case, it's going to be changing from the head to the hand. You have to make it a child of. In this case, the hand, and that would make the hand the parent. At least that's the terminology that Blender uses. I don't know what other 3D programs use in terms of that, but so first I'm going to make its parent the head. Oh right, I didn't name the bones. It's still named Python. I don't know how many you guys use. For people who use Blender, there's a program called Make Human, which can render out like human models for you to model on. I use that a lot, and sometimes when you just when you take the model from Make Human, they just name everything Python because they're using, I guess, the Python code or something. Because I think Blender predominantly uses the Python coding language. So sometimes everything is just named like Python or Mesh or something until you name it. I'm gonna name this Margot Bones, and so we're gonna make this. So I'll explain things, simply for those of you who don't know and aren't interested in like the 3D aspect. So right now it's not attached to his head, and so right now I'm gonna attach it to his head first. So now it's attached to his head. And now we gotta add another child of. Actually, first, should I get the animation done first? Nah, let's just do it. I was thinking maybe I should animate more of it first so that I can play with like the amount of frames that I want him to take it off his head first, but let's just try it. I do think I want him to move more to his right. Ooh, sorry. And he's still going to be moving to his right. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be the frame where, actually, it'll be the next frame. So right now we're going to exchange the head for the hand in terms of parents. Left hand. Okay, so basically what you have to do is you have to set a keyframe to, okay, maybe I should just zoom all the way out rather than, okay, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna try to show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay. Just so you know, I don't, I never use OBS unless I'm streaming, so I'm not savvy about it. So, okay, wait a minute. So I move this up, move this. Okay. Okay. Will this make, people who I've gotten a lot of people who use Blender who like see that I'm using an older version of Blender. It's like, why are you using that? It's just happened almost every uh, time somebody who uses Blender watches my stream. So I'm opening myself up for more of that, but that's fine. Okay. Um, Okay, so what I wanted to show was these two. These are called constraints on the right. And I'm not going to get too technical into it because, you know, everyone watching these is not a, you know, a Blender expert or a 3D expert. So I'm just going to say that this one at the top here, can I move this or no? Okay, this thing that I'm toggling on and off at the top here, this is the one for his head. This is the kind of constraint for his head that's attaching to its head, and this one down here that I'm toggling on and off right now because I don't think you guys can see my mouse cursor, so I'm just gonna, this one right here is going to, this is a constraint that's gonna attach this helmet to his left hand, and its influence is all the way down. Basically what you have to do is you have to set a keyframe on the influences so that so for this frame, it's the influence on his head is 100% and the influence on his left hand is 0%, so that it, you know, is attached to only his head. And then the next frame you have to flip it. So now the influence that the constraint has on its head is 0, and now the influence that the left hand has is 100%. And I'm gonna add a keyframe so that stays. And the real annoying part is this part, which is is when you have to line it up perfectly the way it was before. It's not that annoying. I mean, I've gotten used to it by now, but when I was first starting out, it was really annoying. Okay, and now it's set to the left hand. And so now he's going to take it off his head. Just going to lean. Oh, whoops. I don't know how many of you guys have seen Treasure Planet, but this character is kind of slightly inspired by one of the characters from Treasure Planet. At least I was looking at that character a lot while I was modeling him. I think it's just like the ears and the fat, the neck and the nose. I think that's it. Yeah, but still, you know, you take what you can get. Okay, so now the hand starts out. That looks kind of weird, but the thing is, also I'm not sure like what angle or how I'm gonna shoot this yet, so I'm just kind of doing the basic animation right now. gonna put all this in one layer so that's easier to. So it's a lot smoother to animate. Whoops. Wrong layer. Okay, yeah. The less, that's needed in the layer, or less that's needed, in the viewpoint, the faster it gets. Oh, there's Zeke. He's definitely not going to be standing right there in the final scene, but I imported him. I still have not given him shoes. This is a special knowledge, a special insight on the episode for people who are going to be watching his live streams versus the people who aren't. I'm not sure if Zeke actually needs to wear shoes this whole episode, so I still have not modeled shoes on him because I'm still not sure if he's ever going to be filmed, this full body. I think he will because I think I want to animate him entering this place, and I think I want to animate all the characters doing for those of you who didn't follow social media, I did dances for each of the main characters. I think I want to incorporate that into the episode. I think I want to incorporate their full body, the full shot of them dancing in terms of full body. I think I want to do that for Zeke too. So I think if I do that, I will give him shoes. But for those of you who watch the live streams, just know that if he's never filmed full body in the episode, then I never made shoes for him, for this outfit of him. And so that'll be a secret a trivia nuggets for Diver. Does Blender have a preset skeleton rig? I don't think so. Unless it's an add-on or something. I don't know. I should put a disclaimer on my live streams that I'm not by any means a Blender expert or up to date on all things Blender. Just so everyone knows. Yeah, this too. I should put I don't know, a sign or a disclaimer or something that I don't really think of myself as a Blender, person or Blender, I don't know what you'd call it, influencer or social media. I don't know, but I wouldn't consider myself one of those. So I still use, I do kind of use the basics as much as people might think that there are a lot of advanced shots, I guess, and things I do, but I pretty much just use the basics. I just make my own rigs and I just model stuff. I don't use anything really all that advanced. Sorry, I mean, she wouldn't ask, so he would. I guess he wouldn't. He would say that because if I could do this, if I can play my cards right, I never have to model shoes for him. I mean, I could just import shoes I made before, which I think I'm probably gonna do, but I'm still not sure whether I need it. Yeah, like someone like Blender Guru, which I learned a lot from his tutorials when I was starting out. Um, I don't remember which ones. It's funny that like I think his donut tutorial was really popular, but I already kind of knew a lot about Blender by the time that came out, so I never did the donut tutorial. But but yeah, like so like I'm not by any means like a Blender guru who's like up to date on all the things, or like a Jonathan Williamson or that's those are the only two I can think of. But one of those people, and I learned a lot from all those people. But I'm not I'm not by any means that. I just like literally I just model and rig things pretty much on my own, just using the techniques. I don't really I don't really do anything all that special. And it's something I kind of wish I could just say to everyone who comes comes to my streams, but I can't because a lot of people are like, did you get this new add-on? Like, did you get the new Blender? Did you get? I'm like, I no man, and I don't mean it in like a like you should know that already thing. It's just kind of like you're barking up the wrong tree kind of thing. It's like I'm not I I virtually almost know nothing about the new Blender because I just use the old ones. Um, I mean, I know some stuff because for jobs, I've had to like figure out how to figure out what I can do and what I can't do in terms of new Blender. Because I've had jobs where like the person's like, oh, I need this and this done for like I'm using Blender. I need this, and this done for Blender, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then like I get started, I'm like, oh, this is for a new Blender. He's like, yeah. It's like, oh no, I don't. I don't use that. And it hasn't. I haven't. I don't think I've. I think I had one time where like I couldn't do the job altogether, but for the most part, it's kind of like, okay, well, just do this, and then because there was one job where I was just modeling, and it was like, okay, we'll just model it, and then the client was like, I'll just import it in the new Blender. So hasn't been like hasn't really been that big of an issue, but it's just it's only in those cases that I've ever had to actually figure out what uh what the new Blender is like. Okay, just I don't remember why I brought that up, but just letting you guys know. And okay, let's. Blender hipsters. No, I wouldn't just say any of them are hipsters. It's just there are definitely people who are who are following all the updates on Blender and things like that, and I think I feel like I was one of them at one point. So it's not just people. I mean, there are definitely some people who are just like learning everything about like tech stuff and just really enjoy that. Uh, and there are definitely those kind of Blender users and things like that, which I mean that's cool, but I've never been one of them. But I think it's for the most part it's people who are learning it and wanted to kind of know, you know, everything about it. And I was definitely one of those people when I was starting out. But there are definitely Blender hipsters too. I mean, of course, there's hipsters in every community. But I wouldn't say anyone who asked me that are hipsters. But if you are, you're getting blocked. I'm just kidding. What would you do if tomorrow Blender came out and announced it's no longer free and everyone has to repay for all the? I mean, that's like on some Adobe mess there. I heard that Adobe had to like pay. I heard there's a story of someone who had to pay to get rid of Adobe or something. Like Jesus Christ. Um, but I mean, if Blender did that, then I mean, what? They don't have like my IP address or serial numbers, so I can just. So it's like, what? How are they gonna enforce that? But I guess I'd be screwed if that did happen. I thought you were gonna say like, what if all of a sudden they discontinued or like I don't know, all the old versions became defective or something like that. Then that sounds like something that I mean, no, I don't think they would never do that, but that sounds like more of a reality. But you know, the only thing I can say is that would suck. that if that happened, then that would suck. It's like nothing else I could say really. I wouldn't download a house. What does that mean? Is a house like some kind of technical term or something? But if not, then I could say no. I don't think I would download a house. Oops. trying to trying to see if there's something slowing this down a bit, because it's a little slow. Looks like everything's good. It's the eyeballs? No. Okay. It's a reference to an old anti-piracy. Oh, right. I think I remember that. I remember the line, "You wouldn't steal a car," and so it's like you wouldn't steal, you know, cars. Why would you steal, movies or whatever? I think I vaguely remember that. Oh wait, maybe it's this. Oh, was that? Okay. Okay, this is a little too slow, so let me. Also, I'm not sure if it's too slow or not, because I feel like I've mentioned this like 1,000 times, so for anyone who's been to my streams before, just ignore me, but the, the stream slows down my computer a bit, so it's hard to tell what the timing is sometimes when I play back animation. So that's part of the reason why I don't typically stream animation. Ooh, excuse me. And part of the reason, but in case like this, I'm just trying to get the basic movements down anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not like an anti-piracy person. I'm kind of like I'm not one of those people who are like, oh, I didn't check the hat here. They're like, if you watch movies on the internet, like you're taking from the creators, or you're doing all this, and it's like, I mean, I don't know. It depends the situation, If sometimes I feel like people resort to, and I've done this before, and I buy things, and sometimes I've I've watched things online, on sites that people that are not me have posted content, and I've always felt like it depends the situation, because I've had times where I've tried to buy, or I've tried to pay for like a streaming service, and it just wasn't a good service. You know what I mean? That it was like, and it was hard to use, and so I felt like, well, I mean, like why support this if somebody else posted it somewhere else? It's like maybe the people who created this service should make it, better so that it's easier to use and things like that. Because there are a lot of sites where I'm like, or like Crunchyroll was a really good site in terms of anime for me when I was watching a lot of anime back in the day, because it was easy to use and it was easy to stream stuff. And I think that's gotten better. But yeah, I've tried some uh, streaming service. I'll just say it is the Funimation streaming site. I don't know why I'm beating around the bush. Like Funimation cares about what I think. Uh, Unfortunately, I have that off. Okay, cool. Thanks for stopping by, Keelan. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that you're from Ireland. It's never morally wrong to do so from corporations, right? Yeah, uh, sometimes it's like it can be annoying when people like shame people for like watching a thing or two online. Not like, oh, I never bought anything and I only like pirate everything. If some people are doing that, that's fine to like say maybe don't do that. But if some people like buy things here and there, but if they can't find it online, they go look at a site where somebody else already posted it. It's like it's not like just watching it is the same as pirating. At least that's how I look at it. And I look at it as somebody who pretty much knows everything about the industry, and like I understand that you sometimes that it's good to support, but also sometimes a consumer who just wants to watch a thing. But yeah, that's my spiel. So I'm not a. It's not a thing that I would. It's like one of those things where I'm like, I wouldn't recommend just only doing that. I mean, if that's your thing, that's cool. Like I wouldn't shame anyone for it either. But but yeah, I wouldn't like. I don't know about like saying like you're taking food out of the creator's hands. It's like, okay, well, let's let's calm down a bit there. But it's a case by case basis. I think in some cases, uh, it does take away business. In some cases, it's not that big of a deal. And so to say like anyone who's ever partaked in piracy is a hooligan, I think is a little much. But it depends. Like if I know that uh, there's independent filmmakers out there uh, who only make their bread and butter off of like sales and things like that. And wait, did I do this right? Okay, never mind. But so it depends. It I don't know. I don't know why I keep. I don't know why I'm staying on this topic. But yeah, in terms of Funimation, I just had the experience where like I signed up for their site because I was like okay, like I heard that they had a streaming site and that they make a lot of their money from that, and I've paid a lot of money, given a lot of my money in my time, especially in the last like 10 years to Funimation because an anime nerd and they have a lot of anime properties I like One Piece and Dragon Ball and mostly One Piece. But and so I was like, okay, I'll join their streaming service or whatever. And I just had like an experience where the site was just and this is a while ago, so maybe it changed, but the site was just not. It was just kind of like it was a convenience to use. And this is I think like to the 2015 or something when Dragon Ball Super was coming out. Because I think I used it to watch the new episode of Dragon Ball Super or whatever, and I forget. And yeah, it just had like a lot of problems with it, and I was like, and this is after I heard somebody who worked at Funimation was like, it's like if you're watching pirated anime online, you're that's literally stealing. You're stealing or whatever. I was like okay, and then so I signed up for it. Then it barely, then the site wasn't working right, and I was like okay, well, like you can't point fingers at people for stealing and then have the site be kind of like uh, an inconvenience to use. I think I said convenience before. I meant inconvenience. And it was just one of those times where I'm like okay, like I get what they're saying, but I also get the people like myself who sometimes can't afford certain things or can't find a title or a movie or something on one of the sites. So it depends. It's case by case basis. And I've still since bought many Funimation DVDs. I can see some of them on the floor right now. Not the floor, but on this case that's on the floor on my room where I've I've bought many One Piece DVDs and I collect a lot of them, and so I'm definitely a customer. So I'm not someone who's just who's only ever pirated things. But I don't know why I'm on this topic. And if there's anyone who stops by and wants to bring up something else, I'm more than happy to oblige. Okay. Think I think I'm gonna have him struggle a little bit more as he takes this off. Okay. Um, I don't think it's gonna be possible to see here, but I want to make it look like he's struggling to take it off. So the thing about replaying animation, especially when the computer's slow, is that it'll drop frames, and right now, since there's movement happening on every frame here, it's gonna be hard to see because it's gonna drop frames. So let me just move on. I think, what is that, about an hour and 20, I think. We can call it, because and I feel like this has happened a bunch of times, but I need to kind of check the animation now, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to check even once the stream is over, because unless I actually import the video or export the video of the animation, because the frames are so much animation. It's frame by frame, but yeah, I think that's good. That's probably the hardest part of this um, this movement anyway, because the rest of it is him just waving around the helmet, complaining, and okay, yeah. So maybe I should export it and then check it. The look he's giving is so disconcerting. Maybe. Hold on. Let's see if maybe. Let's see if no. Okay. He doesn't have any shape keys, meaning facial expression. I was gonna like close his eyes a little bit, but I guess it's fine. Something like it doesn't. I've animated enough things that it doesn't bother me that much, but sometimes it's like just to see a blank face for too long, it's just kind of weird. Even though, you know, I've animated enough at this point that I should be over that, but okay. Okay. I feel like I should start to lip sync now. Maybe I should let you guys hear a bit of a bit of the audio of the voice acting for this, so you're not just watching me move a character just randomly. Let's see. Alright, so that's about an hour and a half. That's a decent amount of time. Plus, I need to check the animation for this while the computer isn't streaming, so I could look at a smoother playback. So, yeah, I think this is a good time to call it. That was a decent amount of work done, and I'll probably do more once the stream is off. So,